What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to DiamondTrail Ranch. You can see a lot of our birds out today. If you've got backyard chickens or you're thinking about starting your flock, sooner or later, you're going to meet a broody hen. Folks, that's just the nature of the beast. You will. Let me tell you, though, she's not just moody. She's got one goal, to hatch eggs. I'm going to walk over here, so stay with me, and I'll show you some broody hens. They are a force to be reckoned with. I'm just kidding. They're not so bad. You can actually generally pick them up. And I say generally because sometimes they'll try to hit you up while you do it, but that's all right. They're okay. They're not going to get you. We are in the chicken coop, and we are looking at some broody girls. Hi. Oh, I know you're angry. Angry girls. So, she's got one goal, to hatch eggs. Today, we're diving deep into Broody Hen 101. How to spot one or three. We have more than three, by the way. We have several, and they're not just in the coop right here. They're all over the place. So, anyway, today we're diving into Broody Hens 101. How to spot one, what causes broodiness, when to break it, when to let her hatch, and how to keep her safe and healthy no matter where you live. Whether you're here in the U.S., the Philippines, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, it doesn't matter, guys. Anywhere else in the world, let us get into this, right? Let's dive right into it. First off, what even is a broody hen? A broody hen is a chicken that has decided she's ready to become a mother. Her hormones tell her it's time to sit on eggs, keep them warm, and hatch baby chicks. You may be thinking, but she's not sitting on eggs. They do that sometimes. It really depends on the hen, though. It's a natural instinct. It's more common in certain breeds, like Silkies, Buff Orpingtons. Hi, I know it. You're so broody. Australorps as well. If you got any of these, you'll probably deal with broodiness more than folks who have production breeds like Leghorns. This behavior is more common in spring and early summer. But in warm countries like the Philippines or southern Pakistan, hens can go broody all year round. All right, girls, I'm going to leave you alone. They're paranoid. I just wanted to let you guys see them. Anyway, I'm going to continue talking about these broody ladies. They don't care how many eggs are under them. They really don't. It's kind of interesting. They just want to sit straightforward. You got to watch out, though. They'll neglect themselves. It's actually starting to rain here. Oh, boy. Here's some signs, though, to know if they're broody like those girls back there. They'll stay on the nest all day long and all day night. They'll just neglect themselves. They might get up once or twice to eat or drink. So you guys really want to make sure you're checking in on your birds. No questions asked. Like, you just really want to make sure you're checking in on your birds. She'll fluff up her feathers and growl and peck when you get too close, or do what she was just doing there. She may start making the low clucking or growling sound, almost like a warning. She was basically warning me there. I just didn't want to stress her out while I tell you guys about broody hens, because whether you have them yet or whether you don't, it's a good way to learn about them. She may start to pluck feathers out on her chest to warm the eggs better. That's called broody patching. This can be confused with a hen that's just laying, but the key there, you don't want to get it confused with a hen that's just laying. The key is laying hens leave the nest after laying. A broody hen, different story. A broody hen will park it there like she's guarding treasure, and that's an understatement, like for real. Even in countries with open coops or more free-range settings, you'll see the same signs. In places where chickens roam more freely, like in rural areas of India or the Philippines, you might find a broody hen nesting under a bush, in a pile of hay, or even behind a water tank. It's pretty, all over. We're here in Florida in the U.S., and you see them. Ours are in this coop, but we actually have, I might go check and see if I can find the broody hens that are in some of our weird locations. And I say weird, it's not really weird. They're doing it to be protective. The big question, though, is do you let her hatch the eggs or break the broodiness, right? if you have fertile eggs and you want chicks, letting her hatch them's totally fine. And we've done that. Particularly, not the ones in the coop. We usually scoop those eggs up every day. So while we check on those hens, because we try to put these girls up every night. Over here in this bush, I'll show you, there's usually one in there. If you have fertile eggs, you know, you can get chicks right that way. They're totally fine if they're in a safe predator-proof area. They have access to clean food and water. She's physically healthy, you know, not too skinny or exhausted. Broody hens can make amazing moms. That's what they're trying to do. Like, they've literally committed their lives on a whole nother level to protect these eggs. They'll keep the chicks warm, teach them to eat, and protect them from other flock members. It's pretty fascinating, to be honest. Hatching naturally does come with risks, especially if it's hot. Humid climates where bacteria and ants can be a problem. You know, make sure her nest stays dry and clean. That is an absolute must. Depending on where you are, in cooler climates, you may need to block drafts or move her inside a coop or a barn. It really just depends. In warmer zones like Florida or South Asia, ventilation is more important than insulation. Ventilation is more important than insulation. Now, though, if you don't want chicks, maybe you don't have a rooster, or you just don't want more birds. I can actually hear them, I think, over here. Then, it's time to break her broodiness. Why? Because a broody hen will stop laying, lose weight, and sit on an empty nest for weeks, risking dehydration and heat stress. I'm actually going to look over here for a quick second and see if I see any of them. Sometimes they sit in here. You can see lots of digging. I don't see any currently, though. Sometimes they bring them over here under this. And I'm not seeing any right now, though they could be like buried under there. They really hide themselves really well, but typically this is where they do it. If you have an area where you are, like I said, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, that has super high vegetation, they could probably, be hiding in that. We've actually had some hiding over here in this before. We've had them hiding in the hedge. So, I mean, literally, they're hiding. They do it on purpose. So, let's talk about, how do you break that? If you're going to go ahead and do it, how do you break it, and how do you do it safely? You want to interrupt the hormones that are telling her to nest. And here are the top ways to do that. Remove her from the nest repeatedly, several times. Gently take her off the nest and set her by the food and water a few times a day. You got to monitor them, like teaching a kid to go potty. You got to tell, hey, Mom, leave those eggs alone. Go put her by the food and water several times a day. Set an alarm on your phone. It's a little bit of maintenance. Set a reminder on your phone. All right, it's time to go potty. All right, Mom, it's time to get off them eggs. It might take a few days to change your mind. If this is, again, if you want to do it safely, you want to block access to the nesting box. Now, mind you, if they're free ranging, she's going to find another spot. I'm speaking from experience here at DTR. Put her in a wire bottom cage for a few days, also called a broody breaker. You can use a dog crate with no nesting materials. Elevated, make sure it's in the air a little bit for airflow underneath. The idea is you're cooling off her belly and discouraging nesting behaviors. We'll say something very important here. Always keep the broody breaker in the shade, especially in tropical climates. Heat stress is a real danger, so give her water, food, and protection from sun and rain. And keep her busy. Let her free range, give her treats, or a flock block to distract her. Chickens are creatures of habit. Break the pattern, you can break the broodiness. It usually takes 3 to 5 days to fully break a broody hen, though. Some hens are more stubborn than others. If she relapses, just repeat the process. Honestly, I mean, it'll work to do it safely. Watch her health closely. That is crazy important. Like I said about the neglect earlier, whether you let her hatch or break her broodiness, you need to watch her health closely, because they'll often eat and drink less. They'll start losing weight. They're at serious risk for mites and lice, since they sit still for so long, and they just don't care, about anything but their eggs. Literally nothing. They can overheat in warm climates. You might freak out, oh no, what do I do? That's why I made this video. Dust the area with some diatomaceous earth or poultry safe mite powder. You can do it around them. Make sure she gets fresh water every single day, especially in those hot countries where dehydration can hit fast. And when her broodiness ends, whether naturally or through intervention, she might seem sluggish or slow for a few days. That's normal. Give her a boost with vitamins or a little scrambled egg for protein. So honestly, just to wrap it up here for you guys, what you need to remember, broody hens are normal and natural. It is not a problem unless you don't want chicks. You need to know the signs. If they're nesting, growling, feather loss, refusing to leave the box, that's broodiness, right? Decide if you want to let her hatch or break the broodiness. If you do break it, do it gently and safely, and don't rush it. Watch your health no matter what you choose. Whether you guys are raising chickens here in Florida, in the United States, whether you're in the Philippines, Nigeria, or Pakistan, anywhere, broodiness is a universal part of chicken keeping. So once you understand how it works, it's nothing to fear. It's just another chapter in your flock's journey. And if this video has helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more beginner-friendly chicken and homesteading tips right here at DiamondTrail Ranch. Drop a comment and let us know, have you dealt with a broody hen? Did you let her hatch and break the brood? Or did you do either one specifically? Have you done both before? We want to hear what worked for you. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.